For over a century, humans have managed to add roughly 3 months to our life expectancy every single year. Researchers are now looking towards a specific threshold, aging's escape velocity. This is the theoretical point where our technology advances fast enough to add 1 full year of life expectancy for every year we actually live. Imagine a rabbit walking into the future, holding a sign with the age of your death on it. Every year you live, you step closer to that sign. If the rabbit moves at half a year per year, you eventually catch it. But if the rabbit walks at a pace of 1 year per year, you never catch the sign. You achieve biological immortality. Yet, despite this technological push, many of us are moving backward. Our bodies are wearing down and aging prematurely compared to our ancestors. Early humans experienced a fight-or-flight response during acute physical dangers, like fleeing a predator. Today, we live at a hyper-competitive fever pitch. Our brains process a phone notification or a stressful email as a literal threat to our survival, keeping our nervous systems trapped in a state of emergency 24 hours a day. This constant alarm sends low doses of cortisol and adrenaline through our systems. Over time, this chemical flood damages healthy cells and weakens the telomeres, the cellular structures responsible for regeneration. We are literally aging ourselves at the microscopic level. This modern existential dread is an active physical degenerative disease. Psychologists have a term for the profound emptiness that surfaces when the noise of the workweek finally stops: Sunday neurosis. Without our usual obligations to distract us, we are suddenly forced to confront the void of our own existence. To fill the gap between our expectations and our reality, we often turn to numbing behaviors. We sink into sedentary lifestyles, spending hours in front of screens and consuming processed foods that further accelerate our physical decline. The ultimate anti-aging secret isn't a medical breakthrough. To stop our bodies from breaking down, we have to find a specific psychological framework to cure the void itself. In the mid-20th century, psychiatrist Viktor Frankl developed an entirely different approach to mental health. While traditional psychoanalysis asked patients to recline on a couch and dig into their past traumas, Frankl asked them to sit up straight and look toward their future. He called his method logotherapy. Instead of viewing existential frustration as a mental illness to be medicated, he saw it as a catalyst for change. Logotherapy pushes a person to consciously discover a clear, unique reason for getting out of bed in the morning. Frankl proved this concept in the most horrific conditions imaginable. As a prisoner in Auschwitz, his life's work, a complete manuscript, was confiscated. The absolute need to rewrite those theories gave his life meaning amid the horror. He scribbled fragments on scraps of paper, and that singular purpose gave his body the endurance to survive. Decades of research back this up. Studies show that people who face challenges and pour their souls into difficult work live longer than those who choose a completely relaxed, passive lifestyle. Constant learning and meaningful stress force the brain to create new neural connections. Having a profound why to live for gives our biology the armor required to survive almost any how.
While the West identified why we need a purpose, a parallel movement in Japan focused on how to handle the emotional friction of getting there. Shoma Morita, a Zen Buddhist and psychiatrist, created a therapy centered on the acceptance of human emotion. Most Western therapies focus on controlling how we feel. Morita took the opposite path. He argued that we cannot control our emotions any more than we can control the weather. He taught patients to observe their anxiety or sadness, accept them as natural phenomena, and let them be. Morita explained the danger of fighting our minds with a fable. If you tie a donkey to a post and it struggles to escape, it walks in circles, pulling against the rope. By fighting, it wraps the rope tighter, completely immobilizing itself. When we fixate on escaping our own discomfort, we trap ourselves in suffering. Morita's solution is to stop intellectualizing the pain. Instead, patients focus entirely on repetitive physical tasks, like chopping wood, gardening, or painting. We might not be able to order our brains to stop feeling anxious, but we can completely control what our hands do today. New, positive emotions are learned through experience and repetitive physical action. On the Japanese island of Okinawa,
these psychological theories take a physical, measurable form. This region is a blue zone, home to an unprecedented concentration of centenarians who enjoy vitality that would be unthinkable for the elderly elsewhere. Their physical habits support their mental fortitude. One of the most critical is Hara hachibu, the practice of stopping eating when their stomachs are only 80% full. By refusing to overeat, they save their bodies from exhausting digestive processes that accelerate cellular aging. They also form deep, lifelong social safety nets called Moais. These groups pool funds, share advice, and look out for one another through hard times. Knowing a community has your back effectively eliminates the chronic background stress that destroys human telomeres. Between the low-intensity daily movement, the communal support, and a profound sense of purpose, the Okinawan lifestyle is the lived execution of both Frankel's and Morita's therapies. At the center of this lifestyle is a unifying philosophy, Ikigai. It translates roughly to the happiness of always being busy, and it acts as the existential fuel that gets Okinawans out of bed every single morning. This framework starts internally, combining what you love with what you're good at. Then, projecting outward, you find what the world needs and what you can be paid for. When all four circles align, you've found your Ikigai. This sense of purpose is so deeply ingrained that the Japanese language doesn't have a direct equivalent to the Western concept of retirement. To permanently rest, to stop engaging with your community and passions, is to shut down the very mechanisms that keep the body and mind sharp. Without a challenge to strive for, the void returns, inviting biological and psychological decay. To achieve this kind of longevity, we have to look past the comforts of modern convenience. We have to discover our specific reason to wake up, accept our turbulent emotions, and build communities that support that mission. Longevity and excellence are the result of the daily, lifelong habit of living your Ikigai.